Hello, I'm Geoff Leask from Young Enterprise Scotland, and you're joining the Escapade Show.
Yes. Let's do it. So we're here with Geoff Leask. Yeah.
Yes.
Leask. Young Enterprise Scotland Chief Exec.
Yes.
It's a pleasure having you on, of course.
Pleasure to be here, guys.
Yeah. Episode now. What episode?
Episode 15.
15. We've done 15 of these now.
Steaming ahead.
It's amazing, actually. 15 of these. It's great. And over the last kind of few of them, they've really came together. We've got this new table in. It's weird to think how much a new table can change the dynamic.
Geoff actually commented on it.
Aye, do you like it?
It's fantastic, and the new shelving units with the recycled pallets, which I don't know if you can see on the podcast, are fantastic.
I think we might have a shot somewhere.
Followers of the journey know about the pallets.
Yeah.
Did you do that episode 13?
We did.
Yeah.
Where is that poor person now?
Behind the wall with Sanjeev Kali.
Covered over. Who was 13? We had Marley 13.
But he was 12.
He's a famous YouTuber.
Right.
And
gamer.
Gamer. He's got maybe 400,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel.
Full time getting paid from YouTube.
So,
22 years old. How cool is that?
So for us, Geoff, as you know, we like to show young people the real ways of maybe achieving their dream or whatever. They might have a dream, but parents don't really understand how that can come around. So we like to get guys like Marley 13 on, and we'll say, look, Marley, how did it happen for you? How did the journey start? What were you doing? And essentially it was just loving his gaming. He just
Pretty
played
much.
Games all the time.
Editing.
Aye.
Is he Glaswegian?
I think it's maybe Motherwell way.
Motherwell.
It's Motherwell. Don't want to get that wrong
shouldn't
now.
confuse those. Shouldn't confuse
Definitely
those
different
places.
areas. Where are you from originally, Geoff?
Mars.
I can believe that.
Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. No, I was born in Edinburgh in 19 Kit Kat, and I was brought up in the sunny Scottish borders. You been to the borders?
I've not stopped by. I've
Drove through them.
Most people choose to drive through them. It's probably a wise move, particularly when you're young, No, it's a fantastic place, the Scottish borders. I was brought up in Jedburgh. And, and I also spent a lot of my years in Hawick, in the Scottish borders. But I left there after school when I was 17. So I always wanted to fly planes. But I was never very bright. So I applied. You guys will all think of Ryanair, EasyJet, all these sort of airlines. But back in the day, there was only really two airlines in the UK. There was British Caledonian. You heard of them? British Caledonian?
No.
And British Airways.
British Airways,
British Airways. So two. So I wrote away to try and get a job with one of those two, thinking I could fly a plane. But they quickly came back and says, Geoff, no chance. So it was a thumbs down.
You need a licence.
You need a licence. That would have helped.
Need a bit of training.
I need a bit of training.
Lesson.
So I was in a. Do you ever get careers guidance at school?
Yeah.
Was it as effective now as it was back in the day?
Probably not.
No.
It involved in 1979 or 1980. It involved going into a room and looking at lots of brochures. Big.
Right.
And I saw a picture with a ship on it. You see, I thought, if I can't get up in the sky,
Get in the water.
I'll get in the water. So quickly, no email. You write away your letter and you take it to the post office and you post it away, and you got a letter back. And two companies said, "Oh, we'll give you an interview." So off I shot down to Southampton. No fly-by, or it was a car journey, then a train journey to London, another train journey, then a taxi. Interview for half an hour, back to Jedburgh about midnight, having left home at 6. Letter back 2 weeks later. Fife's the banana boats. Do you like bananas? Fife's bananas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So Fife's gave me a job.
Wow.
And I went, she's a dancer.
Right.
Started off in the banana game.
Fife's Bananas.
Fife's Bananas.
Where is that from? Where's that company go?
So they were based in Southampton, but they had a fleet of what you call refrigerated ships, reefers.
Okay.
Reefers. No way.
Yeah, I worked on reefers for 3.5 years. Wow.
Cool.
different reefer.
Different
than what we're laughing about.
To what you're laughing about for no drug connotations on these videos.
Refrigerated banana boats.
Refrigerated bananas. You can see where it's coming. So we used to load up bananas in Panama, Colombia, Honduras.
Wow. That's what I was asking. Like, where did they originate? Where the bananas kind of?
So they grow out there.
Not Fife anyway.
No Fife. No the kingdom. No the kingdom of Fife. They come from Central America.
It's a bit warm for bananas.
We used to pick up 170,000 boxes.
Jeez.
Green bananas. They come on green.
Of course.
Refrigerated, and then they'd go off green, and they go into big ripening warehouses, and then they come out to all your supermarkets.
Right.
As they
sometimes you get them green in supermarkets sometimes, but they're still close to being ripe.
And if you ever spotted a ripe one in amongst 170,000, you had to take them out quickly. So imagine looking through 170,000 boxes.
Defects and all that.
Did you eat those yellow ones? Did you just have to throw them?
No, you got sick and tired.
Aye, after a while.
It was a great. It was a great gig when you got sent to Morocco to load tangerines. You know, you were like, yes, different.
That's some other fruit.
And all you did was you went back and forward to pick up bananas, take them to America, Europe, Middle East, Far East.
Wow.
And then on the way back, you would take cardboard. Why'd you take cardboard back? So they could make the boxes for the bananas, and you would take fertiliser so they could grow the bananas.
Wow.
Nice cycle,
eh?
So was that your... Well, what age were you, and is this your first introduction into the world of business?
The world of work, yeah. But I worked when I was at school. I always worked. I worked from when I was probably 12-ish, 13.
Yeah.
Paper rounds. Morning paper rounds, evening paper rounds. I worked in a co-op, furniture, hardware, you know. You name it, you did it. Just to... Because music was my big passion, and to be able to buy records and stuff like that back in the day,
it's expensive.
It was relatively expensive, you know, and to go to gigs. I remember going to my first gig in '77.
Who was it?
Support band or the main act?
Both.
The Motors were the support act.
Okay.
Do you remember them? Big hit with Airport in 1979.
Right.
77. So them, Dancing the Night Away was their first single. You Beat the Hell Out of Me was the second one. And the main band was Wishbone Ash.
Right.
A prog rock type band anyway.
Cool.
Okay, so music was a big thing for you.
Aye, but do you know what the cost of the ticket was? Back in 75, have a guess.
Sixpence and...
Sixpence?
Fiver.
175, that was.
Wow.
175.
Aye.
So I used to work hard and you earn lots of cash, and you would buy an album, you'd buy a single,
buy a concert ticket.
Concert tickets. You would go and see the Clash, the Jam.
Wow. Now we're talking.
Yeah. Lots of things, but you didn't. Living in the borders, it wasn't like living in Glasgow here, where you could just pop up the street. It was you'd either go to Newcastle or Edinburgh, and it was a 50-mile journey. I remember coming all the way to Glasgow. I remember to the Apollo. Was the Apollo gone before you were?
I know where that building is.
It was gone.
I can only remember it being shut over.
I remember coming all the way to Glasgow, the Apollo, to see. It was a great lineup. It was the Banshees, Susie and the Banshees. The Cure were supporting the Scars.
Oh my God, I love the Cure.
You're a big Cure man, yeah.
They split up the night before in Aberdeen, and the whole shebang was cancelled.
No way.
Back in the car, back to Jedburgh, another 3 hours in the car.
Different days.
So, back to the bananas, right? So you done obviously all of that, right?
Aye.
What did you do after that? How did you get from that early sort of beginning to the position you actually find yourself in at the minute?
Well, I did bananas, and no other drug. I did chemicals after that, so I was tittering about that one. Did chemical tankers for 3.5 years, and then I kept getting made redundant. And I'd always had an inkling I wanted to work for myself. You know, I'm quite fortunate in the fact that I came from a family where my dad ran his own business. He never used the word entrepreneur in the 70s, you know, and I still probably don't use the word entrepreneur. But I saw him have a go at things, you know, like buying the first photocopier in the small town and charging people 5p or tuppence or whatever it was for a photocopy.
For a shot.
For a shot, aye. So, and I'd seen the hard work that goes and the things you tried and things didn't go right, and I've seen how much it took to run a little business. So I'd always wanted to do that, and I never knew what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to probably do it in catering or that sort of, probably in a pub, because it seemed quite sexy, trendy, have a pub. So I went to Edinburgh and I worked in a number of places, different bars, restaurants, hotels, till eventually I bought an old nightclub in Hawick, in what would be that? It'd be in 1989, 1990, and I went in partnership with my brother, same way as I'm guessing you guys are fellow directors or partners in the business, and it was a pub that had a shit reputation, you know. It was, and I always remember I was 26, I think. My brother was 22 or 23, going to the licensing court and trying to get a license for this renegade pub. And God, we needed a lawyer that day, but we got it. Anyway, we got it, and there was more people wanted you to fail than succeed.
Of course, yeah.
Definitely.
More people wanted you to fail than succeed.
What? I mean, just a side note. What do you think that is? Why do you think it's more? Do you think it's this country? Do you think it's humans in general? Like, there does seem to be an air of that.
It's the weather, man.
I know you said weather.
It's got to be.
What? Just your opinion, like.
So
it happens.
Big girl's probably right. The weather doesn't help, but do you know, we're frightened to see people succeed. Whether that's because there's been some pretty awful examples of people when they have succeeded that
abusing the power.
Is it frightened?
Right.
So, but I think there's a lot to do with that. And there's a lot of it to do with jealousy as well, you know. And you know, there'll be 100 people have a great idea, but out of the 100 people, there'll only be one out of the 100 that'll take that idea and convert
do something with it.
And do something with it. You know, everybody's got great ideas, but it's the people that take it and then
of course it is,
do something. And I mean, if I pull that into Young Enterprise Scotland just now, right, I want people to have a go and try something, and you know, if it doesn't work, hey, do you know
we tried it.
You try something else and you change it and you move and you move and you move. And whether you want to move on to this new technical entrepreneurial language of pivoting, you know, this is what they all seem to call it. Pivoting. My day it was a change, you know. We're all pivoting today, pivoting tomorrow. But anyway, you know, there's nothing new. There's a lot of that, all that stuff. Yeah. Emperor's new clothes, I call it, you know. So the pub scene was it was great, and we set it up as it was great because it was a town of Hawick, very rugby orientated, you know, knitwear, and we went pretty similar to you guys, you know, in terms of we didn't go for the mainstream audience. You know, our audience was the punks, the skinheads, the goths, the headbangers, the metal jackets, you know,
brilliant.
All that sort of stuff.
Knowing your market.
We put live bands on. We'd bring bands from all over, you know. It was only a wee, you know, we'd be jam packed out, 120 punters in the back room. We then got threatened with closure by the council,
as they do,
for noise pollution, and you know, I went through all that, and I literally got threatened with closure. And you know, the punters in the pub actually rallied round. You know, the poor soul was a saxophonist player, a guy called Jed Gary, rest his soul. You know, he died very young, but he says, "We'll not let this happen," right? And got loads of guys. We bricked up literally with these big, what do you call it? Those big concrete blocks, you know, these big blocks. Concreted that up, and then we put soundboards over it and soundproofed it, and all the stuff you've got in here, you know. And and the council kept going at us, and they would stand outside at a weekend and their sound meters and all that sort of stuff, you know.
Wow, what was the place called?
It was called the Number 10 Bar.
Right.
It's still there. It's a nightclub. It's now called, it's probably hip and trendy. It's called the Base.
Cool.
But it was great, you know. And then we bought another pub it was really good, and you know what?
So you actually turned it around,
expanded.
Then. As you said before, it was like a renegade.
It was
so
shot,
you just
you know,
switched it right round.
And we kept that on, and we ran that for 10 years. The number 10 for 10 years.
Wow.
And we had another one. We bought another one in year 3 in Jedburgh called the Foresters Arms. More of a traditional. Jedburgh's a smaller place, and we created an atmosphere in there. We opened up a restaurant in it. I didn't know how to cook. I didn't know how to run a restaurant. So if you don't know what to do, you get an expert.
Bring someone else.
So we sublet the restaurant. Had a fantastically successful restaurant, great relationship. I did that till about 19. I did it for 10 years, I think. 10 years. So from 1989 until just before the millennium.
The millennium bug.
The millennium, and they said we're all going to die.
That's it. Finished.
We're all going to explode.
All electronics down.
All electronics down. Yeah. So I did that, but it's, if you're going to do something, I think you guys probably exemplify it as well as anybody else. Is you've got to love it, you know.
Got to love it, live it.
Love it and live
every
it.
day.
Do you know? And do you know? I loved being at sea, right? I loved, and then one day I didn't, right? So you go and do something else.
Yeah.
And I loved being in the food, beverage, pub business. And then one day I didn't, and I never knew what I was going to do, you know. And said to my brother, I'm packing in, and we did a deal. We sold one pub, and he kept the other one. And it's just, do you know, you fall into something, and I'm always very grateful to the Prince's Scottish Youth Business Trust, which was a separate organisation. The Prince's Trust, you probably had support from.
My first, I worked with the PSYBT. Maybe about 6 years ago. My first business venture, the one that I started, got a bit of help from, closed that down, done something else. So they've been massively helpful. So I got that experience while it was still happening as a separate thing before it all merged together.
It was a wonderful organisation, you know. It used to help young people in Scotland set up hundreds of businesses every year with not just the finance, but the networking, the mentoring, the support, the aftercare, all that sort of stuff. And there was a job advertised in the paper, you know, and I always remember applying for it, and I thought, God, that'd be a great job, you know. And I applied, and I always remember going for the interview and getting asked questions about things called, it was a foreign language to me, Excel and Word and PowerPoint. And I remember bluffing my way through that, and I got a phone call the next day and said, we'd like to offer you the job. And that was just so pleased to get that, you know. Yeah.
What year was that?
1999.
So 1999 was when you joined PSYBT, who are now no more.
No more. Part of the Prince's Trust. Bathgate no more. Whatever it was, Methyl no more, PSYBT no more after
Proclaimers. That was
Proclaimers, yeah. Aye. Well done, point to you. Yeah,
do you know that guy?
I didn't. I know it all brushed by me. Remember, I'm from Italy, Geoff. So
he's just here.
I'm an intern. I'm only a couple of weeks in the country.
Benny.
Right. So
yes,
we're back then.
Prince's Trust.
Prince's Trust. Yeah. So that was
how long?
Including the Prince's Trust, 14-ish, 15 years.
What was your role? What was your title? From
Borders Regional Manager through to ended up as Director of PSYBT, which was then no longer a position when it became part of the Prince's Trust. I was had a huge title. Don't know if that makes you any better. Senior Head of Employment and Enterprise. It went on for, you couldn't get it on a business card, put it that way. So I did that, and do you know, I felt time for a change, and I knew there was something missing in the further education sector in terms of enterprise awareness. There was great stuff that I'd seen from PSYBT. I knew that PSYBT probably did some work that about 50% of PSYBT supported young people were college students or graduates from college, far more than university. And yet there was nothing that was joined up about a college approach to enterprise. So I developed an idea. I sat in a back room, same as you guys, and I registered a domain name, got the Facebook name, got everything, Twitter, Insta, all these things. And then I thought, what's the way to do this? You know, I've developed a program, an idea for it, and what's the way to do it? Do I set up another charity, or do I go and do something? And I thought, you know what, it's going to kill me doing all that. Actually, let's look around for an organisation that's in harmony with trying to work with young people in the same way. And I went and spoke to a number of organisations, and I eventually plumped for Young Enterprise Scotland. It seemed a natural fit, and the board, yes, said, you bring us in the cash, and that's a fair enough gig, you can plug it in here. And that's 5 years Bridge to Business has been going, so it'll be 5 years in August, and Bridge to Business is now recognised as a great programme. You guys have done, you were over,
we've done some work with you,
lots of stuff. You were in Edinburgh the other week.
Yes, that was fun.
A fun day, and it's now, there's a big event going on in Glasgow today as we speak, with 100 students up there. So and then after about a year, I got asked to take on the chief exec's role in July, so that'll be 4 years in July on a temporary basis, and then they asked me to take it on a proper basis in about October. So I've been doing that for about 3.5 years, and it's been a fun journey, as they say. You know, it's been it's been some great days. There's been some really days where you think, are we going to keep going? You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's like any business, isn't it? It's you know. But one thing I was thinking there that you must have access to is like a lot of interesting people, like business folk, I guess, doing what you do. You're at frontline young people, and then you're frontline, right, who's really doing it for you on a business sort of landscape in Scotland. So you've got that kind of buffer where you can, you know, speak to people like Brewdog, you know, mentioning earlier, like, you know. So who all these people, who would you say is really interesting? And secondly, what's the kind of common thing that you find in people that blow you away, and even in Scotland, like entrepreneur wise? Or
there's lots and lots of people, and I think the common thread amongst them all is those that have the passion. And we've mentioned that word already. So those that have a passion for what they do, you know, they stand out, and it's very easy to see the difference between somebody that loves what they're doing and somebody that's just doing it. And the ones that are really successful really have that passion, and you know, there's nothing more inspiring than spending time with people like that. And what's been key for us at Young Enterprise Scotland is filling our team with people with that passion.
Yes,
amazing team, by the way.
So it's about that, you know. Do you know, they have their great days, and you know, they have some pretty bad days as well.
We all do.
We're all human.
But that's an important thing to.
The important thing is to recognise that not every day is great, and actually, do you know, the important thing is to say, well, do you know, I've recognised that that's not great, but do you know, that bad bit's only going to last for a certain period of time.
Yes, it's actually okay. You learn from that.
It's okay, and that's it. And we also work well, and credit to you guys, you do stuff with us, and it's about working with other organisations that have the same
vision,
passion and vision and stuff like that. And it's important for us that we're a very values-led organisation. And we set out those values 3 years plus, you know, collaboration being one, enthusiasm being the other, creativity being the third, and the fourth one's integrity. And everything that we do is
based around
that, right? And the other thing is we've stripped aside a lot of the stuff that we might be asked to do. I think it's important in business that you do that, and if it doesn't help you, or it doesn't meet with the organisation's mission statement, or it doesn't help the organisation to achieve its vision, then actually, do you know, there's somebody else better out there to do it. And don't get detracted down that little side road, because it'll drain you. And I think the other thing is that I've learned I've learned this over many years, is that, do you know, you can overwork things, you can really, really overwork things.
Yeah.
And I see this so often where people are always trying to get this to the nth degree of finishing, and you'll never get there. You'll never get there. It's that curve that
striving for perfection that doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. So you've got to give it a go. And if you, I have lots of things on my wall beside my desk at Rook and Glen where we're based.
Yep.
And it's attitude over aptitude. So the fact that I couldn't work a spreadsheet, but I had the attitude to learn how to work a spreadsheet. That was the important thing.
That's the main thing.
We speak about that quite a lot, and in fact, just talking about like tapping into networks or people, one of the things I've seen supporters wise of Young Enterprise Scotland, it's you have a massive support, like backing from like other firms, other companies. Like, I mean, the sort of accolades there are unbelievable. Disney being one of them. According to the site anyway, there's loads of amazing companies there. I mean, how do you go about maintaining relationships with firms like that, and do you see that as really important?
Oh, it's very important. The Disney one, just to put clarity on that's achieved through Young Enterprise UK, our sister organisation.
It's amazing.
Down south. But relationships are key. Different relationships are managed in a different way. Some people are very needy. Some need lots of hand holding and lots of information. Others just need an email every now and then. But it's the point to make there is it's not about collecting a number of badges that are attached to you. I see too many organisations who go out there and they think, we've got 40 of these partners here, and actually, what are they actually doing for you? Are they synergetic with the values base that you have? That's right? Because if they're not, I'd rather have 10 fantastic partners rather than 50
all right ones.
All right ones, yeah.
You know what? That's something important. Huge we've learned massively in terms of like partnerships, committing to things, and it's like, it really does go back to values and what you set out at the start, because opportunities you find opportunities everywhere, and if you just dive into absolutely everything and strike up a partnership with everyone, you start to really dilate what's actually core to the business. For us it's music, it's community, it's helping. See, if as long as it comes back to music and enthusiasm and creativity,
helping,
it's got to have that creative source, because we're obviously artists, musicians in here, and this is how it's all started. Comedy, things like, as long as it comes back to that and we can input our values into it, then we know it's the right thing. That's why we've got partners like Pioneer and like Ableton and stuff. We really like to work with these guys because we use the equipment, so therefore it makes sense for us, But there's been opportunities all over the place to get involved in different things, and we've had to, as you say no, but that knowledge doesn't come without the experience.
You don't start off like that. You really don't. You don't. And especially when we started off, you would just say yes to anything, because you're trying to get the name out there, you're trying to build your brand, and that's certainly something you should do as you're starting off, because you're finding out what your values are. Especially nowadays, you get so many sort of fakery guys like, I'm going to show you how to build your following or this, or build your company, and they may actually have never built a company, so it's like, you must launch off with your values, this and that, but without that experience, then you're not going to land at that sort of destination. You're going to just start things with the will and the passion. You find like every overnight success is probably, previously had 3 failed businesses before they've actually 10-15 years. I'd started 2 businesses. I've maybe folded 4 businesses, before. But this one, you're a failure. But that's it. But you only get to these places by really finding out how harsh it is. And then you can judge how good it is on the other side. I think that's a massive part of it, though, isn't it? It is failing your way to learning, and I think that's one thing we teach a lot of the primary school kids and stuff, is like, please go out there and make loads of mistakes, because that's the only way you're going to find out who you are as a person. Actually there's a really great talk just now floating about online from Matthew McConaughey, the actor, right? And you actually touched on something that he spoke about earlier. It's kind of slipped my mind what it was now, but it's all about sort of of refining, potentially saying no to things that, you know, don't align with who you are as a person, because, you know, every minute spent doing something that's not you is counterproductive. But it's that experience of getting there and going through all those ups and downs. How do you personally as a leader, and you know, because all the staff, Maxine, Katrina, everyone that works at Young Enterprise, amazing team,
big shouts when they're watching
yes great pair, those two. You know, the whole gang down there is great. You know, how do you manage as a leader to keep them inspired, especially in those dark down moments where, are we keeping the lights on this month, or are we, you know, on now there's an amazing big contract just came through? How do you manage those emotions?
I think you get a lot through experience. That's a big benefactor to me. I'm not 21 anymore, so I've got a lot of that in the locker. But the other thing is that you've built that support network round about you now, whether that support network is your home-based support network. I've got a wonderful wife at home, and I've got great kids and family. So,
very important.
So that's really, really important to me. So nobody knows you better than them. So if you're down, you know you're going to get that support. But if it comes back to your team within the organisation, do you know they get to know you really, really well, and they get to know when things need a bit of a help, a bit of a hand.
Right, okay.
And it becomes... I
get you.
Synergised.
Synergised, good word. So although it's my name that's on the head of the paper as chief exec, actually it's a collective effort that pushes us there. You know, it's never one person that achieves anything in the organisation.
Just to add, it's very important the team really feel that as well, and know that it's really about the team. You know, it needs somebody to head it up and make a call, but that's just business. You know, if there wasn't anyone to decide, you'd just be flapping around.
Yeah, plus it's more enjoyable having the people around you on the journey with you. I don't think it wouldn't be enjoyable doing it on your own. Do you know what I mean? And you couldn't anyway.
I don't think anything great or any business in general can happen. So you can only take it so far if it's just one person.
Absolutely.
You need synchronicity. You need to be synced up, as you're saying. You know?
But you can't be great at everything. Let's be quite frank. You know, you need people around about you. And I think the other thing that we have a huge amount of respect for a Young Enterprise Scotland, and it's about the gut. And you know, it's going back to that thing about overthinking something. It's about, you know, actually that's where it'll come in the first instance. You know, you'll get a sense, and I can look back over the years where I've worked with people that I should have said no to right at that fair, and I knew.
And you knew then in the gut.
I knew, right, it was going to be a bloody nightmare, right? And actually, do you know, you take it, but you were younger, and you think, you know, try it and try
lesson
it,
learned.
You know, and you know, and I think back to the point that you were making, Stephen, and I think you've also, Gal, is around about focusing on the vision that you're trying to achieve, and one of my old chief execs used to say to me, he said, we got to stick to our knitting. Do you know that phrase? You'll not know that in Italian, will you?
No.
You probably don't know it either.
I don't know if I've heard that.
Stick to your knitting. So it basically, you know, stick to what you're good at in the first instance, you know, and hone in. And the other thing he used to say to me was, you know, focus. If you stick to your knitting and focus on what you're doing, and you do a bloody good job, right? Instead of going off chasing the cash, the income will come along behind you, right? People, the income will come. So if you, instead of chasing the contracts, just focus on delivery, and focus on delivery.
You told me that last time I was through at Rick and Glen. You told me that story, and it was that resonated.
I think that's an absolute bang on point.
Totally, really, especially nowadays.
Choice.
I was in a primary school yesterday, kicking off a project, really wonderful project, hilarious, and I asked them, what do you all want to do? Nobody was like, who would like to be a YouTuber? And like all the hands went up. So I asked, I was like, why? So I can become famous. I was like, well, why do you want to become famous? So I can make lots of money. I says, there's loads of ways of making lots of money. You don't need to be famous to make money. And they were all just kind of like, I was like, so why do you want to be famous? And like, I don't really know. I was like, because all these things are getting pushed, so many different options are getting pushed that I think the work ethic, all these sorts of things are starting to kind of diminish because people are looking for the easy option to how they're going to get success or money.
It's just mass choice. It's it's very important nowadays, as you say, because the internet, Instagram, all of it, it's like, that looks like a good job, that looks like a good job, that looks fun, what's in here, what am I good at, what can I stick to, and two, how does it make money?
Focus on what you're good at. As you're saying, you need to cut those options away. You can't have too many options.
If you're good at something and you love it, do you know it's a recipe for success?
You need to.
It doesn't matter whether that's...
And then it's just time. You just put time in. Hammer time in it.
You got to work hard.
Focus on the delivery.
Focus on delivery. And
on you go.
Hampden Park.
I was just about to go on it. You just read my mind.
Hampden Park.
So it's the year of the young people, of course.
Go and say Hampden Park like you did last year. It was Hampden Park. How do you say it?
Hampden Park.
Hampden Park.
So
let's bring
we done it last year.
We done a talk at Hampden last year, and it was unbelievable. That was great.
So we're going back this year.
Bigger.
Bigger and better.
Bigger and better here on 5th to 6th of June, Hampden Park. Let's go. Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll be there again doing a talk, getting everyone G'd up.
On Tuesday the 5th. Yeah. Tuesday the 5th of July. We got hundreds of S1 to S3s coming along.
Loads. Can't wait.
We've got some great people coming along that day as well. We've got David Duke, a man that I have a huge amount of time for him, who set up Street Soccer. I don't know if you've ever spoken to David.
No.
And Sylvie Douglas, who's got Mrs., who you probably heard at the dinner speaking last year. She's come along on day one.
Brilliant.
And we've still got a mystery guest to announce on the dinner that night, and we've got you guys coming along at the dinner, and we're hoping to get a wee mix set from Mr. Kirkwood.
We'll see what we can do here. We'll see what we can do.
Don't spoil it.
Not my normal type of set, but we'll certainly. This is the fun thing about
let's put you on the spot.
We've got to do something. I'll come up with some sort of routine.
It's live now.
Oh, he's doing it.
It's committed now.
It's committed.
It's been recorded, so
well, all the team, we'll all be coming as well on the night. A few of us will be coming. Eugene will be coming. Shouts to Eugene. So looking forward to that. But right, obviously it's the year of the young people this year. You done it last year. This year's going to be bigger and better. Because basically you're going to a lot of lengths to make this happen. You're putting yourself right out there to make this happen. Why do you feel this is important, and what is the day all about?
The day's all about creating an experience for the young people that come along. It's all about young people taking stuff away, and you know, if one person goes away from there and I think, God, that's really changed the way I'm thinking.
Job done.
And if there's 250 of them go away, even better. And you know, the thing about it to create that word entrepreneurs, it's all about skills development within young people. It doesn't matter where they go to work, whether it's they work in the public sector, private sector, the social sector where we are, or whether they set up their own business, which is a great benefit as well. It's all about skills, and developing. You know, and it's not necessarily the skills that most people will talk about. You know, it's the skills that are the core skills to me. It's resilience, it's creativity, it's presentation, it's communication, it's conflict resolution. And these are all the things that run as an absolute core to all of Young Enterprise programs. That is what it's all about. And I'm here today, I think it's whatever day it is today, and this week I've been in Shetland for our company programme awards. I've been in Aberdeen last night. I'm here in Dumbarton today. We've got Orkney kicking off in about 2 hours. We've got Argyll kicking off tonight also, and we've got Ayrshire tomorrow as well.
Wow.
So there's events going off all over the place,
right across
all across Scotland. So
doing well.
You know, it was over. We've topped 15,000 young people that we engaged with last year.
Unbelievable.
15,000
in a year. Wow. See for yourself, like, looking at that, and that's exactly why I do it. You can tell when you talk about it. It's just we get this in a small sort of way, and it comes back down to that one person. See, if we run a program and it just goes unbelievably well, but one person gets that seed, and there's a seed planted in there, then it makes all of that worth it. And then for you've upped the ante to the point where you've done 15,000 directly helped in a year. That's.
See, I think I feel very proud that we've played a small part in that. We've had groups of these young people over that year, and it's always a challenge. It's always a very fun challenge, if I'm honest. It's the best space ever for us delivering. I mean, we love coming through to Rook and Glen. It's a cracking setup. But I mean, 15,000 young people in 1 year is, when you consider the population of Scotland, that is a significant chunk of people, and it's only increasing more. And even online as well, there's people getting benefits, stuff like that. That's amazing.
Just to add to this, we've been kind of a theme we've been chatting about is collaboration, and
yes,
it's absolutely a value that aligns with us. It's like this new internet space, podcasting space, getting yourself in here to chat about it. Us having these partnerships means we can really deliver the best for the wee country that is Scotland, the 5.5 million people. There's not a lot there.
No,
there's key parts, Central Belt right up the east. I mean, it's not unattainable. Us really collaborating and delivering, internationally, people looking internationally in at us, I'd like to think, go, wow, look at that. They're really, bucking the trend with this.
Well, it's value-led content, in our minds. That's what we're trying to do. We want to give people access and learn from people like yourself at the head of a community organisation that's doing lots of wonderful stuff. And it's good to see. And again, we actually spoke to Sanjeev about it on the podcast, how, we had visualised one day either singing at Hampden or performing at Hampden. We even wrote a song, a ballad, and we'd be in here at 2 a.m. singing this, having a total laugh, shouting thank you Hampden and all that.
But it was just a blank wall right in front of
it was just a wall, but we were shouting Hampden, sing with us and all that, right, having a laugh.
Totally laugh.
And then, fast forward a couple of years, you had very kindly asked if we wanted to come do a talk at Hampden, and we were looking at each other like, this is the universe has just sent us a signal here, so we grasped it. And
you guys ripped it up at Hampden that day.
Thank you.
That it was a fantastic session. And
great feedback on the day.
Fantastic feedback, and just to that's what putting guys like you in front of groups of S1, S3s, and everybody else that was there. It's quite inspiring, and I'm a certain age, and you were telling me earlier about this YouTuber and blogger and stuff like that, and however many hundreds of thousands of followers,
Yeah.
People my age don't, in general terms, there are exceptions, but they don't understand
what that means.
They don't understand
impact like that.
I get that. I totally get it. We see it all the time, especially with schools, things like that. We see, the actual. I mean, we get it a lot with parents where they might say he says he wants to be a YouTuber. So I tell him to get his head out the clouds, and we're kind of like, well, he could do that. This is the landscape that we find ourselves in, especially 2018. I mean, we're racing through, so we're at the forefront of people making careers in this sort of world.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be the norm very soon.
You've got to facilitate it, because I mean, we forced this from completely nothing. This whole
from an empty garage,
really from just from vision, from up here, the subconscious. It's like, and there's loads of. I mean, the next Calvin Harris and the next Joe Rogan and all of that are out there somewhere, but it takes a conversation, a sentence to inspire them, or a talk,
or knock their confidence,
or knock it. That's
just as easily.
That's why it's
butterfly
important.
Effect.
That's why it's important. They say the negative emotion, just outdoes anything positive. It's like 20 positive reinforcements.
17 positive reinforcements to
everyone
negate
negative, because that's how powerful a negative emotion is. If you're told no, you're never going to amount to anything or whatever.
Especially if you've been told that for years and years and years.
And it's like built up, It's
eventually that's going to just knock your confidence right in.
Well, you take that last one of those pathway program groups that you probably had engagement with, and 11 of them, none of whom were leaving with any qualifications. 10 out of the 11 have all got a college placement.
They've all moved on,
and one's got a position in the army. Now that
that's mega.
They came to us in August, and they were leaving school at Christmas and Christmas leavers. So
and these are supposedly young people that have got nothing to give. That's what you're kind of landed with in a lot of these programs. The way you go and you think, especially you hear it from their teachers, like, we've tried everything, and then it's like, well, there's still other things to try here.
So it's not that phrase "hard to reach" is a load of crap. It's not that they're hard to reach. It's just you've not found the right way to reach them.
Well, that's it. We don't all learn the same,
and that's what it is.
So on that note, this has been a very inspiring hour chatting.
We could go on.
Again. We could really keep going on, but I've just been indicated that we're already smashed it. Very inspiring, Geoff.
Open door policy for Geoff. You're coming on again.
Aye, this is to be continued for sure. Very inspiring. Great to hear the story.
No, thank you guys for having us in.
Yeah,
much
brilliant.
appreciated.
Let's definitely do it again. Aye, it's been great. I've learned a lot as well, and hopefully again this is what we do the show for. We can, we're here inspiring people, from all walks.
We'll need to do it again.
As long as I get Alan Partridge voice out you before I go.
Yes, absolutely. Geoff Leask, everyone. Episode 15.
Okay, this has been the Escapade Show, episode 15. We shall see again with Geoff Leask, Young Enterprise Chief Exec. Thanks again.
Go and check them out.
Cheers, guys.